And even worse, the lighting's gonna change because the sun's gonna go down. You know what? Nothing is harder than fighting with a camera.
Dude.
Not being the president, that's all I know.
Yeah.
Cannot possibly be harder.
I know it's not, in fact. Doesn't seem it.
No, seriously, what are you doing besides installing a ballroom? Girl, don't you have other things to do?
Evidently not.
Gas is $5 right now. You wanna go fight the gas.
He's at a gas station.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of A Literary Tasting. My name is Jessica.
My name is Annie.
And every week we have a drug.
You have a drug.
We have a drink, we read a book, and most importantly, we complain. This week we are reading The Deal by Elle Kennedy. It's a part of the Off-Campus series that is premiering tomorrow. We're filming this on May 12th on Prime Video. Jeffrey
greenlit something crazy.
I do wonder, like, does he even know that this is happening on his platform?
He's like, I'm so excited for
Has this crossed
Off-Campus.
his desk? Has this crossed his desk, do you think?
It must have. He's like, he has a countdown going.
I know he knows who the Heat of Rivalry boys are, so so I honestly think it's pretty good, pretty likely that this might have crossed his desk.
It was his idea.
Yeah, he's like secretly a huge smut reader.
Yeah.
Disclaimer before we start. I will say this book was written, I think, in 2014, let me look. Can't pull it up on my Kindle, I have to pull it up on my fucking phone.
Ooh.
Someone's gonna die. Jeffrey, figure it out.
No,
I do not want to confirm my login via WhatsApp. Okay, so this book was published in 2015. So a lot of the things we're making fun of, because frankly, this book is a little, we're embarking on a journey now.
We are.
So a lot of the conversations about sex have changed, and I assume they're probably gonna be changed I'm giving the author the benefit of the doubt here. This book did come out, that's 11 years ago now, and also the conversation surrounding women having sex was really different than it is now. We're much more sex positive now, thank God.
Yeah.
However, I am reacting to the source material.
Yeah, this is the material and I'm reacting to it.
And I do want to say one thing before we start. The most notable quote from this whole book to me was, we didn't hit up concessions because we ate a shit ton of corn chips in the car. Just to give you a little sneak peek of the journey that we are about to embark upon.
The one for me that was the most, that really stuck with me was when he said, I watched a wicked awesome Civil War documentary. And I was like, so this like frat star hockey player says wicked awesome.
About a Civil War documentary. There's one time where he says he's going commando to a study session.
Ouch. Like, is that not gonna chafe?
You're wearing jeans.
Good luck, Charlie. Yeah.
Denim on butthole.
That's a good point to make, though, because I didn't consider this, and I was, like, about to set this shit aflame, because I was like, what the fuck is going on here? But that makes a lot of sense, too, because I, at the end of the book, saw the list of how many books they have, and I was like, oh, wow.
At first I thought you meant, you're saying it's a good point to put out that it came out in 2015.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying denim on butthole was a good point. I was like, where is she going with this?
That's a good point, though, because
there's more to expand upon here.
Okay, so
let's just start.
Yeah. Again, trigger warnings for the book: sexual assault and rape, domestic violence, physical assault, and then graphic sexual content. Do you think there's anything else that I might have missed? There's a lot of talk about
misogyny,
body, and there's a lot of misogyny. So, like, I think that's also important to note. But I feel like those were the big ones to mention. So, if you feel like you can't listen to like discussion about those topics, we'll catch you on the next one. So let's get into it. Our two main characters are Hannah and Garrett. Hannah is a music performance major. She is hangs out with the theater crowd, music people. Garrett is the star of the hockey team, the captain, most popular guy in school, which is mentioned a lot. And I was like, I didn't know that was like a thing in college. I feel like when you go to college, like everyone's just like living their own life.
Yeah.
But he's Mr. Popularity.
Yeah, another quote that I remember her being like, pretty much all the popular guys are douchebags.
popular guys in college.
Do you even know them, also, by the way?
I'm here to just get an education and, like, move on with my life. Right, do you even... Okay. This book is also dual perspective because it seems we can't ever escape that these days.
No, and I do not want to hear Garrett's thoughts ever.
Never.
You know what? Let me just say this. If you're writing a book where there's a man in a frat, let's just all keep in mind what the inside of their brain looks like.
Yeah.
It's like a bucket of green goo. It's like a bucket of green goo mixed with cum.
Yeah, like, it's really evil. It was like every time it was her chapter and I was like, oh, I'm starting to like kind of like him, it would take me to his POV and I'd be like, I fucking hate this guy.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Okay. So, the book opens with Hannah and she's in her ethics class and she's drooling over a man named Justin Cole. And she talks about how this class is like super hard and like they had a midterm and it was mentions the fact that their professor like kneeled over and died because of for some reason. And
no,
then like
that professor had previously been teaching the class but died before they could take his section, basically. Like, and she's like, of course. Oh, of course.
Well, of course he died right when I was
right when I took the class.
Out the gate, I was like, girl.
This is page 2.
Literally. Page 2. And so when they have...
She had a fedora and a neckbeard on when she thought that.
Please.
Well...
Yeah, so they have a really hard midterm, and everyone in the class basically failed, and the teacher's like, there's gonna be a makeup or a redo next Friday. But she got an A, so she was like, I don't have to do it. But also within the first couple pages, she mentions that trigger warning. We're gonna talk about this. Like, just take the trigger warning as like the entire time because it's constantly talked about throughout this book. But she mentions here briefly that she was raped when she was in high school. Again, this is like page 3 or 4. Even I was like, oh, okay. Wasn't prepared for that. So yeah, that was a little bit like intense out the gate for me. But then we switch over to Garrett's POV and he's also in the class and he's talking about how he's the captain of the hockey team, whatever.
He's like, my dean demands academic excellence, a C+ average for everyone. Hey, listen, I'm not a great student. Yeah. I'm rocking about a C+ average right now, and that's on online school. But that's not academic excellence, though. That's passing.
Yeah, that's passing, which is fine.
Yeah, totally fine to just pass.
He wants us to pass.
Yeah.
And that's okay to say. I don't know about
not only is the professor dead, but the new professor's a bitch. And the dean's an asshole, too. He expects me to pass my classes.
Isn't that fucking crazy? How dare he? At one point in the book, he's like, the players from other schools don't even have this kind of academic pressure on their shoulders. I was like,
what academic pressure? We also only ever see you do work for this class.
Like, okay. So he's talking about this and he's like, I didn't do well in the midterm and I need to pass so I don't get benched for the next game.
I need to stop flopping ASAP.
So as he's like trying to leave class, he sees Hannah walk by and he gets a flash of her midterm and sees that she's an A and he's like, oh, like she needs to tutor me.
Okay, so, she just needs to give me the answers.
Yeah, of course. And so, you know, like in high school when like that one guy would like pretend to flirt with you so that you could like, you know, give him your homework answers? That didn't happen to you?
I wasn't smart. Did you know you were just saying I'm getting a C+ average on online school? Haven't you? Oh, really?
Yeah, he sees that she has an A on the paper and he's like, well, she needs to give me the answers. So
obviously. She's
walking by and he's like, I can't remember her name. I think it's like Mona or Molly. It starts with an M, something, Miranda, something, I don't know. All wrong. And of course, as she's walking by, he's like, nice racking ass too. Okay.
Wait.
Hold on. Easy
to remember.
I want to maybe give him the benefit of the doubt that like this is a big lecture with like maybe 100+ people and they don't sit near each other or talk, but like still.
Well, and then to immediately go on to say nice racking ass though.
No, literally. And he also is standing, he's like, I'm standing a step below her and I'm still taller than her. She's petite. I can see the top of her head. Okay. We're literally like 12 pages in. Can we relax? And so, anyways, he's like, I need you to tutor me. And she's like, fuck no.
She's also like, she's not really like, fuck no. She's just like, first of all, I don't even know you. You didn't know my name until 2 seconds ago. But also, she's a busy woman. She's got a part-time job at a diner.
Busy woman.
She's singing in the winter showcase.
Yeah, she is.
She doesn't have time for you.
No, she doesn't. And good transition because we find out that Hannah's performing in the winter showcase because she's a music major, music performance major, and potentially you can win a scholarship for performing in this showcase and like winning. And she's performing with a classmate named Cass, who is apparently a big pain in her fucking ass and keeps trying to change up the like arrangement of the song, and it's like a whole thing, and every time she goes there she's like, I want to fucking kill him. Meanwhile, Garrett is trying really, really, really hard to get her to tutor him. He goes and she's like at practice with Cass, and she receives a shirtless pic. A shirtless pic from this dude.
Sexual harassment.
Hello?
And his like excuse for this or justification for it is he's like, well, bitches love me.
Yeah.
You don't like this?
Well, the bitches love me.
You don't like this?
This didn't work.
Wait. What are you talking about? He's also like, by the way, he's like showing up to her job like, just study.
Yeah.
If you just like studied instead of
it's now been 3
wasting
days.
all of this time following her around and harassing her.
Like, what? How about you just, in the 3 days that you spent trying to get me to help you, you could have been helping yourself.
And he also is like, offers to take her on a date, and she's like, what?
He's like, you must want to go out with me.
And she's like, well, no. And then he's like, but it'll help your social standing. And she's like, what? And that's the thing is like, this beginning part of this book is that like, genuinely she was not budging until, of course she does end up budging, but like, during this beginning part, I was like, she's not changing her opinion at all. She's headstrong in her beliefs. And she's not helping this dude out. Like,
I know. She was like, I'm not.
I was like, I don't know why he keeps trying. It's not working.
Been like, I guess I have to find a different tutor.
She's like, or I could just crack open the book. Like, literally. With all of the time wasted.
What a practice problem, my guy.
No. I'll send a shirtless pic and fuck some random girl in my room instead.
So, that takes me to
the butthole to the denim.
I don't know if we're there yet. But we go back to his POV. This is also when he starts calling her Wellesley, and she's like, don't fucking call me that. Who are you to me?
If you don't know, not a lot of people are into hockey, so they might not know this. I learned from Heated Rivalry that apparently this is something that they'll call each other, like something E, like if you're, like your last name E. Like in Heated Rivalry, like how they call him Rozzy, apparently that's something that they do in hockey. So she did her research.
Okay, period.
She read some Heated Rivalry fan fiction too. She's like, wait, I found something out.
Uh-oh. So,
but it just sounds so unnatural. Like, I was like, this is like clearly a point where it's like we're trying to like, this is supposed to seem natural. It seems so unnatural when he calls her Wellesley.
Because
you're making her name longer. Her name is Wells.
Yeah. Or just calling by my first name, which is what
especially because she's like, stop calling me that.
No, she's like, what? We go back to like his POV at one point, and he heads back to the house he lives in with a couple of the other hockey guys, Dean, Logan, and Tucker. Oh my god.
That is a scary Dean, Logan, Tucker, and Garrett.
That is a scary gaggle of dudes. I'm scared. I'm scared. You could not have picked scarier names. Anybody else scared right now? Yes. And he walks in there. You should be scared because he walks in there and he's like, there's that one fucking again on the couch, and there's that one with the shirt off, and this one's about to.
This one has denim to butthole.
I'm like, wait, pause. What do you mean this one is always just fucking on the living room couch? No, like just getting sexually assaulted every day in your own home?
No, like forcing you to engage,
to endure.
Yeah.
What? You have a room in this home.
Observe.
Go to it.
This is another thing that, like, it also happened in After, too, where, like, the girls would walk around, like, in their underwear in the frat parties.
Yeah.
I have never once been to a party where anybody is doing anything more than making out fully clothed.
Yeah.
And even then, that's, like, typically, like, it's gotta be a big house party or a bar.
The lights are dark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never heard of, like, the way they try to make parties seem, it's like, I don't know what parties y'all are going to, but I have never seen such a thing.
But that's just a sex party. If people are walking around naked,
yeah,
like with their tops up, and she does it in this book too, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
I would say this is kind of in the same vein.
Yeah, 100%. So he gets home and everyone's like...
Straight up misogyny too, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He gets home and they're like, you got something waiting for you upstairs, my boy. He gets up there and there's a girl in his bed who's like in lingerie. Yeah, in lingerie, waiting for him and like a whole thing, and they have sex.
Sorry to interrupt again, but apparently she showed up to his door in the trench coat. In front of his roommates.
And all of them were like, you can just head upstairs.
Anytime a girl, and in Garrett's POV, he's like, anytime a girl shows up to your house in a trench coat, you just know she's got nothing on underneath. Okay, good to know for future reference.
Let me tell you something. When I'm wearing a my trench coat. I have 18 sweaters on underneath it. That means it's cold outside.
She's got nothing else on underneath.
So she took the metro like that? Asked to metro.
She walked there like that?
No.
She took it over there like that?
No.
None of it makes sense.
No.
And also, I hate when, like, romance authors do that. Well, they'll be like, you know when a girl does XYZ, it's for sex.
Yeah.
Or, like, you know when a girl does XYZ, every guy's gonna find her hot. I don't know, I'm just like...
Who told you that? So, yeah, we're very casual about sexual assault in this book.
Yeah.
Like, that's something it was like...
Maybe harassment.
Harassment, yes. Harassment.
More technical term. But
Yes.
either way, a lot of engaging and not really consenting.
Harassment. And so, anyways, they have sex, and then they start to cuddle, and basically she's like...
So what are we?
And he's like, nothing. And then we really get like in his POV, he's like...
It is fair.
He's like, I'm not into not wanting to have a girlfriend. I'm really busy. Like, you know, it's just not what I'm looking for right now. And she's like, okay, well, if you're ever looking to get a girlfriend, like, you know where to find me. They also use the term puck bunnies to describe the girls that want to sleep with hockey players. Hated that.
It kind of gives the same vein as, what did they call her? An icebreaker? A jersey chaser?
Oh, yeah.
I want to be a puck bunny and a jersey chaser. I want to be both those things. Those don't sound like insults to me.
Puck bunny is like a cute term. I just wish it's not what it meant.
It is misogynistic, but can I reclaim that term?
Yeah.
Okay, I have to sleep with an athlete, though. That's a hurdle I can't really cross.
We'll find one for you. We'll find one. So right around here, her friend Allie, I think her name is Allie, asks her if she wants to go to a party, and Hannah is really apprehensive to go. She tells us a little bit more about the assault that happened to her in high school, that it happened at a party when she was 15 years old, and because someone slipped something into her drink, or the person slipped something into her drink, and so she's like, I just don't really like to go to parties, and when I do, like, I don't really drink at all because I just have trauma from that. However, she's like, my friend really wants to go, and I never go with her, and I said I'd be more social this year, so, like, I'm gonna go to the party. They get there, and some random ass dude starts talking to her, and she's like, I don't want to fucking talk to this guy. But then she sees Garrett walk into the party, and she's like, now I really want to talk to this guy because this man won't leave me alone. She sees him, and she's like, here he fucking comes.
Oh, God.
Here we fucking go. Like, I can't shake him. She manages to, like, skedaddle away, and runs into Justin Cole,
Her crush.
in the hallway, and she's like, oh my god. And they actually have like a good little flirty conversation, and she's like, oh my god. But then, unfortunately, Garrett also sees this, and he's like, okay.
Go away!
He's like, okay, I figured out my angle. You have to tutor me, and I will help you get a date with Justin if we, like, pretend to go out with one another. It'll raise your status, and then he'll want you. And she's like,
so the only way to make another guy like me is to get with
raise
another
my
guy.
status. Yeah. You can't just
Just
want
fuck
me.
each other then. That's what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you want, isn't it?
That's what you want.
That's what she said. That's it.
But no, instead she's like,
I guess.
you got me. You got me. This is the one thing I want. So, okay. We'll do it. Now she goes over to tutor him.
Can I be honest, though?
Yeah.
I do like this trope. Even though I just made fun
fake
of
dating?
it.
Yeah.
Not fake dating. Yeah.
Yeah.
But fake dating specifically to get somebody else.
Yeah.
Because sometimes fake dating, I'm like, but there's no stakes here.
Yeah, sometimes the fake dating is like for the benefit of like not another like potential partner. So it's like,
well, what's the goal here?
What's the goal? Why are we pretending for no reason?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like this trope too. She goes over to tutor him, and when she opens the door, she is greeted by, Dean Tucker and what's the other one? And they're basically like, oh, there's a stripper. There's a stripper here.
Also, by the way, they're 20. Like, these are kids, I would say. And, like, I'm obviously not saying that college kids, like, don't have sex and that they can't also be misogynistic, but, like...
Who would have ordered you guys this stripper? Like, what?
The sun is up.
No, she's like...
3 p.m.
She's like, I'm wearing a down parka and I have my textbooks. Do I look like a stripper to you? She doesn't say that, but, like... What the fuck?
It's just way too amped up and over-sexualized.
It's so sexualized. Like, no, I'm not a stripper. Like, what the hell? And
that's when I would have turned my ass back around. I would have said, cab driver,
take me home. Justin is not worth it. I'll get him on my own, or I won't.
Like,
either way, it's not worth this.
No.
But she goes in there, and this man is sexting while they're trying to study.
Oh my god. And she sends she like grabs his phone and is like, this is Garrett's tutor. I'm confident you can keep your pants sit for 30 more minutes. Oh my god, guys, she's so much like not like other girls. And Garrett is like so aroused by this, like so excited by her not being like other girls. I'm like, the 2014 really jumped out here.
It really jumped out here. This book, I was like, at first I was like, I really hate these men. But then I was like, oh, I also really don't like her too.
Yeah. Well, she's not equally as bad. She's not sexually harassing people in their own home.
Yes.
So she's not equally as bad, but she's very misogynistic.
Very. And then, on top of that, they start making fun of One Direction.
Yeah. He like, she like shows him her playlist, and she's got all kinds of music. Like, she, like listens to, like, the Beatles and, like, The Neighborhood. But she, like, also likes One Direction. And he clowns on her for it.
He clowns on her bad, and he's like, aren't those the guys who wear matching outfits?
Haven't
they don't. They never wore matching outfits in their lives.
And before you bring it up, they don't dance either. Because they suck at it.
I was reading that, and I was getting pissed off. I was like, do your research.
Actually, they did wear matching outfits during the Up All Night tour.
Did they really? Up All Night tour? I thought they were wearing like suspenders, and this one had the jacket, and that one had the...
I would still say they were matching, though.
No, to me, matching is like we're all wearing the exact same outfit.
They were definitely matching. I don't know, Louis and those red pants actually deserve to get made fun of.
There's a difference between color coordinated and like matching.
Those were matching.
That was color coordinated.
Let us know in the comments. That was matching. You think of like when on their last tour, Harry was just going out there like with his hair in like a bun on top of his head that looks like it hasn't been brushed in 6 weeks. It's like so greasy.
Like he had like a bandana and like the hair was like sprouting.
I know the stylists were like
that one woman who has been their stylist the whole time. I know she was so sick of them. She was like, I don't fucking care. Get out there. I'm here for my paycheck. Like, I couldn't give less of a fuck.
Just not willing to be dressed at all. They were like puppies.
He had those black skinny jeans.
They were tattooed on him. He probably showered in them things.
No, like they were glued. At one point, those Chelsea boots he wore them so much, there was a hole in the toe. Do you remember that? He like wore a hole into them. You could see his toe through it. Just get a new pair of shoes. What the fuck?
You're like a millionaire, dude.
Anyway,
and we were gagged.
I was like, oh my god,
that was the hottest man alive. It's crazy that he was the hottest man I've ever seen in my entire life at 14, and then at 26 I saw Connor's Story, and I was like, no.
Things have changed. Yeah.
It's crazy how there's always a hotter man. That's the moral of the story. Yeah, I don't know how we got there, but that's the moral of the story.
That's the name of the video. There's always a hotter man.
Actually, that's kind of what the book is about, too.
Yeah. So they study again the very next day, and somehow, some way, she ends up singing her song for the showcase, and he is besides himself.
Yeah.
He is besides himself. He's like, play anything, I just need to hear you sing again. Okay. You want my cookie bad, huh? You really did.
It's like 70 pages in, too, by the way. Like, so much for enemies to lovers.
Right.
So much for fake dating. He's in love with her. It's page 7.
I know. Immediately. Also needed to note that here they're talking about the other guys, and he says something along the lines of, Logan goes after girls who are rail thin, with endless curves. She's not his type. They use the term...
Wait. Say it again.
Logan goes after girls who are rail thin, with endless curves. She's not his type. They use the term rail thin a lot in this book.
Endless curves?
Wait, what? I mean, I think it's really going back to like that time period, like the ideal body type.
Acacia Burnley.
Yeah. Like the ideal body type being like slim thick, or like being like super like flat tummy, but like you have a huge ass, you know? Yeah. Even though it's like literally not possible for real. In this universe, it is entirely possible.
It's like funny to even think about. Like I'm laughing like even like rail thin with endless curves. And also, that's another thing, is a lot of people have been discussing like the use of sex in this book, and obviously in the show, because the show's coming out. Mm-hmm. But it's like, actually, I think the description, you can still be misogynistic as a woman, especially in the way you describe them. Like you said, puck bunnies, rail thin with endless curves. He once refers to her as having stripper tits.
Oh, I have a lot of examples coming down the line. Don't you worry. I really, truly, like, good to keep the context of the time of when this book was released and when it was written, but, like, whoa.
I hope they make some changes in the show.
I hope so, too.
Garrett is really, really, really unlikable, and so is she.
Yeah. She's on the phone with her mom, like, a day later or so, and she finds out that she can't spend Thanksgiving with her parents this year. Obviously, this alludes to the fact that they'll probably end up spending Thanksgiving together later down the line. But we also get some backstory about, like, her parents, and she mentions that they're kind of like the pariahs in her small town, but it's not, like, really explained. And she talks about how she had to, like, run away from the situation that happened there. Her mom ended up losing her job. Her parents are in so much debt, but doesn't really get into the whole story. Now, when we go a little bit further after that, there's one point where she's talking to her friend, Allie, her roommate, and in her internal dialogue, she literally says her friend, who wants to be an actress, she's not Angelina Jolie beautiful, but she's cute. This is her best friend, mind you. Mind you. Okay. She's also at this point talking about the previous relationship she was in with a man named Devin. And how he was unable to satisfy her sexually, and thus, because of this, it was so frustrating to him that he broke up with her over it.
You know what? I wish more men would do this. I wish more men would say,
release me.
Yeah.
Release me.
Because,
yeah,
like, because most men are just like, well, I can't do it, I'm giving up. No, you're clearly not really enjoying it that much.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bother to try to learn.
Yeah.
So, you know what? But I also was like, what?
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I've never, okay, again, I don't want to discredit anyone's experience, but it seems a little bit bizarre that he would break up with her because he doesn't make her finish in bed.
I know. I was like, I guess I can on some level believe that, like, if men are so selfish, or can be so selfish, that it's like, maybe he got so frustrated about it that he was like, fuck it, I'm bowing out. But, like, it did seem a little bit, like, intense and crazy, because usually men don't give a fuck about you.
Yeah. But, like, I feel like it would have made a whole lot more sense if she was like, yeah, we broke up because he cheated on me with another girl, and also our sex life wasn't that good. Because our sex life wasn't that good.
Yeah.
For example, I wasn't orgasming.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like those dots make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
He couldn't make me come, so he dumped me.
Yeah. It seems like a intense leap. Mm-hmm. But I feel like in this book, a lot of things go from, like, 1 to 1,000. So, at some point here, we have a chapter where Garrett and the team have a game, and we learn about the backstory of his family, particularly with his dad. His dad is a really famous hockey player, we get a little bit more of the info in a later scene, but I'm just going to talk about it here. Dad's famous hockey player. All the other guys on the team are like, oh my god, you're so lucky, this is your dad, he's the best, he's such an amazing player. However, the dad, he alludes to the fact that the dad was abusing him and his late mother all throughout his childhood.
He also says that some of the kids from his team will literally go up to his dad and ask him to sign their jerseys, and it made me laugh, so I was like, they just had those in their pocket?
They're like, I carry it around just in case I see your dad.
Just in case.
Well, you know what?
It kind of reminded me of, like, 2 weeks ago when Olivia Rodrigo was on SNL. Connor Story ended up, introducing her, you know, like when they do, like, Ladies and Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Olivia Rodrigo. He was there for some reason. I guess because she asked. Fair enough, I would too.
Yeah.
And I would also come if Olivia Rodrigo. Like, I'm there. Mm-hmm. And people were waiting outside of SNL with copies of Heated Rivalry for Connor to sign. And everybody was like, how'd you do that? Where'd that come from? Just carried around a case?
Just, honestly, smart. You never know. You never know when you'll need it.
That's true. And you won't have it when you need it if you don't carry it around. Funny to me.
But the dad, not for some reason, he's very hard on Garrett and, like, wants him to be perfect. And so he comes to all of his games just to see whether or not they win or lose. And if he wins, he just gets a head nod as he walks to the door. And if he does not win, no head nod.
Which is crazy that all of his friends, like, kind of still still like his dad. Like, dude, your dad looks like he's, like, fucking Ghostface right now. Like, seriously. Standing in the shadows.
No, like, your dad is fucking creepy.
He's being weird.
He's so weird.
Why doesn't he just come say hi?
Yeah. And still they're like,
I'm sorry. I was
going
to say, hey, your dad is lurking in the shadows and leering at us. I'm going to go ask him to sign my jersey.
Like, what?
Even though he's lurking in the shadows like a super villain.
Right. Evil.
So it's not not funny. His relationship with his dad is not funny, but it's just so...
That particular thing of him, like, just lurking around and the friends still being like...
Well, especially because, like, how's he getting to the team buses just to lurk in the shadows?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just like... Remember when we were reading that one book and you're like, this one character is, like, cartoonishly evil?
Yeah.
That was what it was starting to feel like at some points. But actually, the relationship with the dad is, like, pretty awful. So they both have, like, really sad, like, backstories of things from the time when the story's taking place. So
she's like, their story's not gonna have any depth, but their backstories will.
Yeah. So she goes over to study one day, and they end up getting pizza and watching TV together for hours. And he says some dumb ass shit where he's like, I just love that you're, like, not like other girls and, like, you actually eat.
Well, and that's another thing is, like, you can tell Elle Kennedy was, like, struggling to write this because she was like, the girl ate the whole pizza, and I'm not saying that you can't eat a whole pizza, and if you eat a whole pizza, that's totally fine, but I was like, it just doesn't seem like something that character would do. You know what I mean? I was like, she clearly was like, I should make her eat the whole pizza, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was definitely, like, it was, like, on one hand, you're, like, wailing on, like, women who are thin that much,
yeah.
You know, and are thinner, but you're also being like, she ate 4 pieces of pizza, like, oh my god, you know? I don't know, like, either way, I feel like you're shooting at me.
Yeah, especially because it's like, the ideal thin woman doesn't have to try to be thin. You're so fat phobic that even a thin woman who tries to be thin is, like, that's the same thing as being fat to you.
Yeah, like, it's really just like, why mention it at all? How about we ate pizza?
That too, and especially, why does he have to care so much about what she's eating?
Yeah.
Like unless it's, of course, if it's in a way where it's like, hey, I don't think you're eating enough, I'm worried about you. Honestly, even then, men don't know anything.
Yeah, he doesn't need to comment about what my eating habits look like.
Yeah.
But she ends up spending the night, and she was like, okay, it's too late for me to go home. I guess I have to spend the night. I'll just go sleep on the couch. And he's like, no, you can't do that because my roommates are going to come home late and, like, one of them might grope you.
So we're supposed to like Garrett after this? And also, by the way, I'm pretty sure the following books after this one are...
About these other guys?
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
They are about these other guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
So...
Not setting them up in a good light for me.
No. I, like, was thinking about reading more of these just because it was fun to, like, just, like, read something mindless. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, no, like, I don't want to continue to read more of this misogynistic garbage.
Yeah. Like, no. I was like, okay, so again, your friends seem to be, like, not the best of people if you genuinely are like, well, also, can't like, on the couch, you might get groped.
Yeah, and if she knows, if the main character has, like, previous trauma with being sexually assaulted, like, why would she even be comfortable being around you?
Well, I was about to say, she's very apprehensive to get in the bed with him. She's, like, kind of lingering around the edge of the bed, and he's like, can you just get in? And she's like, hugging the edge of the bed, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because if you can be friends with men that just... And also, doesn't sound like he's necessarily against groping women that are sleeping on his couch.
He says it so casually that it's scary.
Yeah.
You know?
Like you're speaking from experience.
Yeah. At least, maybe if you didn't do it yourself, you know that it's happened before. You know?
And you're still friends with these people, still living with them, like...
Right. Anyways, they wake up in the morning and they're cuddling and they're like, oh, how'd that happen?
I've never accidentally, I will say it's also a trope in, like, romance novels and, like, rom-coms and things like that.
We wake up and we're cuddling.
Never once accidentally cuddled with somebody.
No. By accident, no.
No, like, at some point in the night, you looked at him and went...
Literally. Goes to showcase practice and she finds out that Cass and MJ, who is the song composer, are dating. Or, like, he asked her out. And she's like, oh, this makes sense because... MJ is letting Cass bulldoze everything about the song. He wants to add a whole choir to it. And in her mind, Hannah's like, it's a little bit interesting that, like, Cass would want to go out with a mousy, plain girl like MJ.
Yeah.
Mousy and plain. And she's supposed to be her friend.
She also calls her a stupid brainwashed bitch later on.
Oh, don't worry, I mentioned it.
Mousy and plain.
Mousy and plain, I've never, like, no, never crossed my mind.
Girl, if you don't like her, then just don't like her. You don't have to comment on it. And why are we supposed to like her?
Yeah.
Why would I care that MJ is mousy and plain? What does that add to your character?
Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing but making me not like you.
Yeah.
Because you said that. People are trying to clock that her and Garrett are hanging out, and she's like, oh my god, stop, we're not doing anything. It's
she loves
so
it.
Crazy. I know. She, at one point, calls Garrett to change the time of their study session. When she shows up the next night for said study session, she walks in the house, and all the guys are like, I don't think you want to go up there. And she's like, no, it's time for us to study. Like, I'm going up there. They're like, yeah, okay, go up there. She goes up there and walks in the room, and he's having sex with someone.
Lock the door. Perchance.
Perchance, lock the door.
Perchance, friend. Hey, friend.
Yeah, like, what if you just lock the door? And so he chases her out of the house, and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Just
we're
leaves
not
the
doing
floozy
this.
in the bed, I suppose.
Yeah, she calls the girl a floozy. She does. And
A floozy?
A floozy.
What kind of word is that?
And so he's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you know, sometimes I gotta do what I gotta do.
It's your fault, basically.
Yeah. And he's like, it's not my fault you haven't had sex. And she's like, what?
That's not the point.
That's not the point.
We were supposed to study.
Yeah.
I don't even want to tutor you.
Yeah, and then he starts asking her, like, when was the last time you had sex? And she's like, a year ago. What does that matter?
I like hate when
why are
romance.
we-
I feel like sitcoms do this a lot too, and like rom-coms and romance novels. Where they'll act like people like going like a year is a long time for people not to have sex. I've definitely gone a year without having sex before.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do it again.
Yeah, like I think that's not crazy at all.
If I don't want to have sex with somebody, then I'm simply not gonna just have sex with some random person just because.
Right. Which is
And if you do, that's totally fine. But like,
it's not.
if you don't want to, that's also fine.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think people are getting fucked as often as people would like to think that they
People
are.
assume. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. For sure, no.
I know, you know, imagine everybody in the comments being like, that's actually a really long time not to get laid. You guys are just bitchless.
Please. So the next night she comes over to study, and he tells her that he's going to take her to a birthday party this weekend because Justin's going to be there so they can start their operation.
I was so annoyed. Why even have I guess the tutoring, why even have, like, the Justin of it all? I was annoyed by the Justin of it all. Like, as soon as she started singing to him over pizza, I was like, and now and now I also have to care about Justin?
Well, I mean, like we said before, then what's the point of the fake dating if not for Justin?
But why would they fake date at all? Why can't he just be like, I'll give you money to tutor you, and have her be like, yeah!
Fair enough. But either way, somehow, some way, they start talking about whether or not she's a good kisser. And so he's like, I get it. You're a bad kisser. And she's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, you must be. Or you should just prove it to me.
There's no such thing as a woman being a bad kisser, by the way.
This doesn't happen. Doesn't happen. And so she's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, guess you are. I don't know. He rage baits her into kissing him, basically. So they kiss. They have a little steamy makeout. And so while they're in the middle of the kiss, the door flings open, and there stands Dean. And Dean's like,
He's
what
like,
the
sorry.
fuck? Yeah. Dean's like, oh.
Dean!
Er.
Dean is an exhibitionist.
You would think that Dean would see this and then immediately backtrack and close
No,
the
but
door.
I'm pretty
stands there.
I'm pretty sure Dean is the one from the beginning of the book that was like,
yeah, I think so too. And so
being a sexual assaulter.
yeah, and so he's like, what's going on in here? And she's like, oh, I'm just practicing my kissing skills with Garrett for the party this weekend.
What?
That's the lie you came up with.
Practicing my kissing skills.
And
you were kissing.
Yeah, and Dean's like, okay, but like, what the fuck? If that's true, then like, why don't you try one on me? And she goes, okay. And then she gets up and kisses him too. And Garrett's obviously like, I'm gonna kill somebody. And then she's like, okay, bye guys. And just picks up her stuff and leaves.
I do support when the female main character tries to make the male main character jealous by getting with another guy. Unfortunately, right in front of him. I do support that.
I don't think that was her aim. Her aim was,
I'm just saying I
uncomfortable,
support that.
and so... I'm just saying I support that. But unfortunately, that's not what she was doing. She just panicked in the moment and was like, I guess I have to kiss him to, like, go along with my lie. Okay.
It does seem like, I guess now's a good a time as any to bring it up, but like, this is like a common theme throughout all of their sex scenes where it's like, one of them kind of pressures the other one in to do it some way, somehow. Like, rage baiting her into kissing him, and it's like, I guess we're supposed to take it as like a banter, but I was kind of like, but given all the history that we know about her,
Yeah.
this makes me a little uncomfortable, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a pattern, it's not just this one scene.
Yeah.
It's like, kind of all of them.
So he picks her up for the party, and he immediately is like, "Go change. You got to put on a lower cut top."
I can't see her stripper tits. Fix that. Fix it.
Fix it now. Fix it now. I'm not taking you out like this, okay?
It's a game. You should know that.
And so she's like, okay. Changes her outfit.
Yeah, that's the thing is, and then she does it. Yeah. Don't let him be misogynistic to you. Wear the sweater. If you want to wear a sweater, wear the sweater.
Wear the sweater.
Keep your stripper tits away.
If you want to.
If you want to.
Yeah, if you want to have them out.
Or show them to me. If you want to.
If you want to. And so they get to the party, and it's kind of clear that like she's kind of like, oh, we kissed, and like that was a really good kiss. But she's like, you know what? I'm here to focus on Justin. It's time for me to make my move.
I need to lock in.
Yeah, it's time to lock in. At the party, Garrett offers her a drink, and she's like, no, thank you. And he kind of teases her about it, and he's like, don't be such a prude. Have a little drink.
She said no.
Yeah. But
you would think that her saying no means a lot to her.
Right. She said no, and like, why can't that just be the answer and we move on? But he's
especially
like, just have one. And then, right. But then she's like, in order to have him stop, she's like, I just don't want to. And is like, because a friend of mine in the past, like, had someone put something in her drink and was assaulted. And he's like, oh my God, like, I had no idea. I can't believe that happened. How
could anyone do that? It's not like Dean forces me to watch him have sex in my kitchen every single week when I'm trying to get an apple out of the fridge.
Yeah. It's like, he's so, like, his reaction and, like, his head is so, like, I can't believe this. This is awful. Like,
what a terrible person.
Yeah. But it is kind of, like, ironic given the fact that, like,
all of your friends suck so bad. Yeah. And you're casual about it. And frankly, you kind of aren't really the best at taking no for an answer either.
Yeah. At this point, also, he runs into that girl from the first scene, do we know, with the trench coat, and she's like, not you're here with another girl that you don't date. And he's like, I don't date you because you actually don't really care about getting to know me. And she was like...
He humiliates her.
He does. He's like, you never wanted... And to be honest, he was like...
You've never asked me a single question about myself.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have to give it to him. I've definitely been on a date where a guy's never asked me not one single question about myself and then wanted to see me for a second date. And I was like, so you want a silent woman then?
Yeah. It's kind of... Yeah. I was like, you know what? He kind of ate her up with that little...
Most of the time he doesn't eat anybody up though.
No. It was just this one singular event. He also sees her talking, or Hannah talking to Justin, and he gets Boots jealous. And then he's like, yeah, I want to fuck her. He realizes he wants to fuck her.
Yeah, it's not romantic. It's not like, I want to be with her, I wish I could kiss her again.
Yeah, it was like, he literally wrote like, I want to have sex with her. Point blank period. And she's like, we're friends, right? Like, we're just friends. And he's like, yeah. Well, good. No, I want to sleep with her. She goes out to coffee with some of her friends, runs into Justin at the coffee shop, and he asks her out on a date for next Sunday. So clearly what they were doing was working. And meanwhile, they're trying to have this conversation, and Garrett is blowing up her fucking phone, like calling.
And the ringtone he set to himself set for himself was "sexy back." Remember, this was 2015, so you had to pay for ringtones.
Yeah, like
charging my credit card $129 for a ringtone
for "sexy back."
Hey, "sexy back" is a fire song.
I love "sexy back," but like to be my ringtone.
And also, she acts like she didn't know about it. He would have. It was 2015.
Yeah.
You would pay for those.
Yeah. And so he's calling, and finally she answers the phone, and he's like, okay, so there's a thing tomorrow at a bar. I really want you to come with me. She's like, I don't really want to. And he's like, well, actually, I'm getting my grade back from my midterm that I retook, so like, would really appreciate if you're there with me. So like, when I get my grade. She's like, okay. Now, going to class the next day, she's like, Garrett must really be popular because I'm walking around and everyone's like, what's up, Hannah? What's up, Hannah? Giving her high fives, like hoisting her on her shoulders.
Kissing her feet.
Yeah.
Asking her about her stripper tits.
Yeah. Like everyone's like, hey, girl. And she's like, so he really must be Mr. Popular. Like everyone knows me today. And she sits down and Garrett comes in and sits right next to her. And she's like,
and her friend is like panicking. Her friend is like, you know this man?
Yeah.
Girl,
stop acting like he's a celebrity.
No, seriously.
Relax. Justin is not happy about it though. He's looking over and he's like, the fuck?
It's working.
It's working. But then on the way out, he's like, hey, like, I wanted to run something by you. She's like, sure. And he's like, tomorrow night when we go to that bar, I think you should drink.
Yeah, his whole point of this was that he was like, I want you to see that you can trust me, that I'll always be there for you, that I'll always protect you. Like, drinking is not that good. If somebody doesn't want to drink, you should not ask them to drink.
Yeah.
Ever. Like, I was like, drinking is so bad for you. Like, you should, if somebody doesn't want to drink, you should say, wow.
I like the sentiment. I understand the sentiment that he was trying to get across. This was not the way to do it, though.
You should drink?
No, not the way to do
Nobody
it.
ever should drink.
No.
Trust.
I don't want to.
No.
But she's like, he's so sincere, and, you know, I really believe him, so, like, fuck it.
I guess I can rock with a
I can
pina
do
colada
it.
or something.
Yeah. So they go to the bar, and he got a good grade on his midterm, and the hockey team won a game or something, and so she goes there, and she's like, fuck it, I'll have a pina colada. And she gets boots drunk.
It's like a dive bar.
Yeah. Having a pina colada at the dive bar, I love that. What the fuck? We have pineapple juice back here.
I have half a White Claw.
I have one sip of a White Claw.
Do you want it or not? It's $17. Yes or no?
For one tongue dip of the White Claw.
Yes or no? Price gone up to 50.
Quickly. It's 100 now. What's your answer?
I'm sitting there.
Oh, you're trying to say yes, and he just keeps increasing the price. But she gets there,
So
has her pina coladas. She starts doing karaoke, and
he's like, damn, she's drunk as fuck.
Yeah.
This whole bar scene, do you know, okay, I love a drunk sex scene. Sorry, I do. I know we're supposed to avoid them, but I love a drunk sex scene. I love a little party scene where they're both a little tipsy and getting a little silly. Mm-hmm. This bar scene was horrendous to read. I was like, why is she doing karaoke? Her ex is there now all of a sudden. Why is he going to the bathroom? Like, why is he mad at her? Why are they slow dancing to the song to his dead mom's favorite song? What's going on?
There is a lot happening in this chapter. A lot happens here. And you know what it reminded me of? Remember that other hockey book we read, the Behind the Net? Where there's a scene in there too where they also go to a bar and she also gets fucked up and she also does karaoke because she was also a singer.
I was literally, I'm pretty sure when I asked you to read that, I think I was trying to ask you to read this, but the covers are so similar.
Yeah.
That I was like,
no way.
It must be the same, I guess.
Guess that, yeah.
And then that one, I accidentally bought it in French.
Every time you tell me that, that's so funny. I bought it in French. Oh my god. Go watch that video, by the way. Anyways, so yeah, at one point during the night, he hears a song that used to be like his mom's favorite song, and he gets really upset, and they like slow dance to it for a little bit, and then he's like, I have to go to the bathroom because I need to be alone. So he goes to the bathroom. While he's in there, we run into Devin. If we recall, this is the boyfriend who broke up with her because he could not satisfy her. And he has his new girlfriend on his arm, and she's just like, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to me. Which is fair. You don't want to see your ex-boy come in with his
when
new
you just got
girlfriend.
charged $15 for a tongue dip of White Claw at the bar. It's like,
it's just really not, it's not good.
They have just a boring conversation. Like,
yeah.
I feel like nothing is gained from this conversation.
Yeah, but the whole time she's thinking about how like he couldn't satisfy me.
She's like,
and they both
I'm broken.
know
There's something wrong with me.
And so they end up going back to Garrett's house with all the roommates. And she's like, he basically is like, she's so drunk and she doesn't want to go home, so I'm just gonna put her to bed and put her to sleep in my bed. He takes her upstairs. He like tucks her in. Whatever. He goes back
downstairs and starts partying
to continue partying. Mind you, he's like, there are like Dean or one of them is on the couch with like 3 puck buddies.
Dean is a menace.
He has 3 girls next to him.
Dean needs to be put in a kennel at night.
What is on? Can you imagine? I would never sit on this couch.
Ew. A black light on that couch. It's radioactive.
Oh god.
Talk about green goo.
Oh my god. And so after he goes back down to continue partying, he comes back upstairs to put himself to sleep.
Why would he leave her alone in his bedroom when he knows all of his roommates need to be locked in kennels in the evening?
Literally. I guess, well, you know what? This is when I read something that was so spooky to me that I was like, I can't believe this right now.
I can't believe my eyes.
I cannot believe my eyes. And he's talking about how, like, he, like, is so fucked up that, like, now he has whiskey dick and, like, he couldn't get hard.
Also,
and
I thought he made, like, a huge point about how he doesn't drink.
He did. at the beginning he was like, I don't drink like when like during the season.
I just get like too hungover too fast.
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. He says, I have whiskey dick, so, like, you know, I drink so much. And he goes, even if I wanted to take advantage of Hannah right now, I'd be totally useless. And shit, that's a totally repulsive thing to think, because I'd never take advantage of her. I'd rip my own dick off before forcing myself on someone.
Okay. You know what? Like, I do think there is, like, a place to have a conversation about intrusive thoughts. However, I don't know if the deal by Elle Kennedy...
It's not the place for
part
her.
of the off-campus series. I'm not sure if that was even her intention when she wrote that line. I'm not sure if she was like, I want to have a philosophical conversation about intrusive thoughts.
What? What is this? I was like, why?
She really wanted us to know that he would not sexually assault her, except considering Dean and the other one aren't in their kennels right now, I don't really believe you. Sounds like
they're kennels. I just was really, like...
Sorry. You have to laugh.
No, I had to laugh. I was like, what? What is this? What are you talking about?
What are we talking about?
What a crazy... Like, what a... Okay. What a crazy thing to add to your book.
How are we... Yeah.
We always have to go back to the fact that this is a work of fiction, and, like, you get to put anything you want in here. And
you could... You had the option to write your character like Henry from Daydream, and you chose to write that.
Yeah.
Hannah Grace, I really need you right now.
I really miss you. Anyways, so
I want to go back to Maple Hills. I hated at Bryer University.
After he gets in bed, Hannah like rouses from sleep and tries to like initiate something with him. And he's like, no. I told you that like you could trust me, whatever. Like we're both drunk. That's not a good idea. And she's like, okay, and goes back to sleep.
Okay.
And he's like, curious. Okay.
Again, no work of fiction.
I
know. Because like, there's also an argument to be made about like she shouldn't be prepositioning him while he's drunk either.
Yeah.
So why put it in the book?
And so, in the morning, she kisses him awake, and then, which I'm always kind of like
stinky
about that. And she's like,
because stinky?
Because stinky, and also like I'm not conscious, you know?
Because stinky.
But she kisses him and then flat out says, Garrett, I want you to have sex with me.
My giggle stopped.
He's like,
became that
Garrett, I want you to have sex with me. And he's like, what? And she's like, no, I really want to have sex. Like, we should have sex. And he's like, well, I'm confused. Like, what's going on? And she's like, you know what? Never mind. And he's like, no, actually, never mind.
She's kind of a woman in a male-dominated field right now.
She's like, I don't want to talk about it anymore. Whatever. And he's like, no, you have to tell me. And she's like, no, I just want to have sex. And he's like, I don't really understand. And she's like, what if I just want to have sex with you because I want to have sex with you? And he's like, you're not the kind of girl who gets naked.
That's all it says. She says Lou Teasdale when she saw Harry Styles wearing it. It's glued on skinny jeans.
Literally, what does it matter? Since when do guys cross-examine a girl about her motives for wanting to get naked? Since you're not the kind of girl who gets naked.
What?
What does that mean? What does it mean to be the kind of girl who gets naked? What does that mean?
Hey, what does that mean?
Hey, what does that mean? Okay.
It's just misogyny.
But basically, he coaxes it out of her, and she basically tells him, like, after I ran into my ex last night, and got me thinking about, like, how I can't orgasm, and she basically says, like, I feel broken, and she says the words, I want you to fix me. I want you to fix me. And this is... Yeah.
What a horrible... This is kind of what I was saying during the last book that we read, Just Friends. Go watch that video if you haven't. About, like, how important it is to actually have a good example of sex and romance in your books. Because, like, reading this at 15 and thinking that, like, first of all, a man is going to teach you how to orgasm.
Yeah.
At all. Or to be comfortable with having sex. Like, you...
Yeah.
All of your comfort when having sex is going to come from you, and it's not... I mean, it's not going to not come from somebody else, but, like, you shouldn't be expecting or hoping that other people will make you more comfortable in the bedroom. Like, if you're uncomfortable with somebody, like, or uncomfortable with yourself, like, you're not broken, first of all. Second of all, a man is not going to fix that.
Having it be like he's going to fix her, especially given all the context as to why has a lot of uncomfortability and discomfort with sex, is like, that's not the narrative.
Yeah, and
that's
then
not the narrative.
When they do end up having sex, like, it feels so icky and uncomfortable because it's like, they're also, it doesn't seem like she's having sex with him because she wants to. It seems like she's trying to accomplish a goal or prove a point.
Well, so he's like, okay, we can have sex.
Which, like, feels like that's taking advantage of her too, I would argue. And I feel like she's mutual taking advantage of each other.
Right. Like, we should have sex because we both want to, and we're both attracted to each other, and, you know, whatever else. And he says to her, like, I know that you're attracted to me, that's not what I'm confused about. When he's trying to ask her...
Trust.
Right. He's trying to ask her, like, what's going on. But it's just, like, the motives behind it on both ends feel a little bit, like...
icky.
Yeah. That next night, she heads back to his house. They start watching TV. Things start progressing. He's, like,
trying to get her, like, more comfortable instead of just hopping straight into it. Which I thought, at least that was nice.
But then she starts to become, like, a little bit frustrated because, like, she gets taken out of the moment. And because he's, like, watching her. And so his solution is for them to masturbate in front of each other and see if that works. And your face. And indeed it does.
Which, like, could be hot, but the pretext of them having sex makes this scene so uncomfortable. I felt so tense reading all of their sex scenes, this one included.
Yeah.
I didn't feel horny. I didn't want to do backflips. I didn't want to run laps around my apartment.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be over as soon as possible.
A little thing here from this scene where he says, her hand leaves her breast and travels over her flat belly. Down the edge of her hips. God, she's tiny.
That just made my
I could
stomach
probably
rumble.
span the entire width of her waist with both my hands.
Unrelated,
Why?
I can't wait to go home and have 7 Costco taquitos.
I'm about to make, by the time you leave, it'll probably be like, 10. I'm gonna make the biggest fucking meal you've ever seen.
Just to prove a point. I'm not even hungry.
Just to prove a point. This upset me so bad.
Yeah.
Why?
Why are you
She's
using
so
terms like
tiny
that?
Over her flat stomach? Because then also he, like, in the same breath is like, she has big tits and a huge ass, and she's so
standards.
tiny. Yeah.
And again, like, another thing is that it's like, no men are reading this. Like, very few men are going to actually read this. So your audience is women. Why are you putting negative ideas about their bodies and other people's bodies and other women?
Yeah.
Neuter the damn dogs and put them in kennels. And say that women are beautiful. Is it that hard?
We just don't have to talk about it at all. Like, why even mention? Because it's not a problem if she has a flat tummy. People exist with flat tummies, sure. But, like, let's just not mention it in the midst of this scene.
And, like, also don't make it arousing for him.
Yeah. Like that's just not... I don't...
Strange.
Very strange. So...
Let's have sex. Neef.
Well, okay, so she ends up being able to orgasm, and she is so excited about this that she, like, jumps up and hugs him, and she's like, we should have sex.
What does meef mean?
Oh, I meant me AF. It just came out as meef.
Stop asking me to look at you. I can't.
So, the next morning, she goes to rehearsal for the showcase, and there's a new cellist that Cass and MJ... Can you hear me breathing?
I didn't say anything.
I can hear your labored breath. Next morning, she goes to showcase rehearsal, and MJ and Cass have brought in a cellist now, Kim Jae-woo, which she always calls him by that full name.
Girl.
Every time. And Garrett shows up and basically is there to make Cass feel like a dumbass idiot, period.
I will say this, like, anything that, like, revolves even slightly around jealousy, like, where your man is superior to another man for some reason.
The posturing moment. It was, like, a good, like,
it's subtle It's posturing. Like when a male bird is like...
Yeah.
I like
and...
that.
He also basically is there for like an in-person booty call. He's like, so back to my house? She's like, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So they go back to his place, and she says she scrambles onto the bed.
I hate when they say that. I hate when, like, the picturing them, like, looking, like, that eager. I'm always like, girl, that's embarrassing.
Please
I can smell your deodorant's working really hard right now, and I can smell it.
I can smell scrambled. And then she says he laughs at my eagerness.
Oh my god.
Oh, no.
I would say, okay, and I would get up and I would go home.
Yeah. Okay. You can't laugh at my scrambling. We just have to, like, move past it.
Didn't you just say it was crazy that I haven't had sex in a year? And now you're laughing at me for scrambling onto the bed?
Right. Another highlighted text I need to bring up.
No book has ever been annotated in such a way before.
I was getting really pissed.
People see you highlighting and, like, typing, like, on your iPad. They're like, wow, is she reading, like...
Socrates.
Yeah.
I'm reading the Odyssey.
I mean, it's gotta be. That page is, half of it is highlighted.
It must be. It's just the deal by Elle Kennedy. It's... He says, you don't have to, like, you know, suck me off. Like, it's fine. It's whatever.
For me, I would have said, okay.
And she goes, it's a good thing I want to then, isn't it? And he goes, some girls don't like to. And she says, some girls are idiots.
See, do you see how that's, like, really actually harmful to your audience when you write that?
Yeah. Like, what?
Okay, I have a small mouth. God forbid. Okay. And also, I'm lazy.
That's just my truth.
And honestly, I've been waiting for a way to bring this up with you, to tell you this.
That's just my truth. Like,
but it's not funny.
In all seriousness,
it is harmful.
In all seriousness, it is harmful. Like, that's not the message you want to send out. That, like,
yeah,
you know,
it's only women reading your book, and, like, also, like, considering these kids are supposed to be, like, 20, 21, 22-ish, like, all in college. That, I would say, like, that puts your reader demographic at, like, 16 to 24, maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't want to put the idea in young people's heads that it's like, I have to do this thing, whether I like it or not.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's like, I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Also just, like, why the putting down other people, too?
Yeah.
Like,
why?
Especially women. It's just more misogyny.
If I don't want to, that's 100% okay.
This book is a nothing burger with misogyny as the sauce.
Yeah. Really.
A misogyny burger.
A misogyny burger. She ends up staying at the house while he goes to practice, and she decides to make dinner for him and the entire house. Garrett...
Pick me ass.
Yeah, Garrett loves it, Boots, a little bit too much.
Oh my god, I remember I highlighted in the book where she was like, so I start cooking for the guy who made me come today. Girl.
Okay, we get it.
Like...
Oh my god, we get it. And he comes back and he's like, I could get used to a female making dinner for me. The use of the word female happens so much in this book. But, like,
Dean and the rest of the dogs are forced to eat their kibble, their slop.
their slop.
Have dog pools on the floor before they get put in their kennels for the evening.
But yeah, she makes them, like, a lot of lasagna, and Garrett is so touched by this.
I mean, pretty nice. Lasagna's hard to make.
Yeah, no, it is sweet. Also, they start to notice that, like, Logan has, like, a little itsy crush on her.
What came of this? Does anybody know?
I actually do know.
Really?
We'll get there.
I missed something.
We'll get there.
Ooh.
Yes, I almost missed it too. I only found out about this a couple hours ago. This is really important stuff.
Hot off the press.
During this meal, also, they discuss that Halloween is, like, tomorrow. Thank God.
I love Halloween.
You know we love a Halloween scene in this house.
Yes.
No, of course not. Why would she ever feed me? Because they're like, what are you gonna do for Halloween? Be a slutty nurse or a slutty doctor? Since we're progressive.
I will say this: if you're not dressing up just slutty on Halloween, I really implore you to look inward and just consider doing it more. It's really fun to dress up as a slutty, like a funny slutty costume, like Slutty Gru.
That is so funny.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I love when people dress up as a slutty minion.
Yeah.
Put down the bald caps.
We can leave those alone.
I've got an even funnier joke. Slutty glue. Slutty minions.
Yeah. And you don't have to have a bald cap for that. Just wear the overalls.
Yeah. Get a yellow wig if you want to wear a wig.
Get a jean thong. That's an idea. But basically...
I'm going as Ilya for Halloween.
my god. Garrett is like, I don't do Halloween, like I'm not into it. She's like, well, I'm like gonna be hosting like the dorm bar crawl with my friend, so like I'm busy tomorrow night. But instead of doing her shift at the dorm crawl, she goes to her neighbor and she's like, can I borrow your car? I'm trying to go to my booty call. And she's like, okay.
No, what bothers me is that she's like, a friend of mine is just going through a hard time and he needs me to be there for him. He didn't say anything about needing you to be there for him.
She assumed, and you know what? She was right. However,
just tell your friend, girl, I want to go fuck my man.
No, her friend is like, girl, I know you want to go fuck your man. I'm excited for you. Go ahead.
Yeah. Just tell the truth.
Yeah, that's a lesson on telling the truth. While she's like helping her friend get ready for Halloween, they talk about how the girls usually dress like hoe bags.
Literally says that?
Literally says hoe bag. Because here's the thing, if you want to dress like a hoe bag, why not just go as a hoe bag?
Because it's funny to be a slutty minion, Hannah. I'm sorry you're not creative. God damn.
Oh yes. Yeah, I know. But then she goes to the house. Garrett's sitting on the fucking scary goo couch. And he's watching his wicked awesome miniseries about the Civil War. But they actually end up having like a more intimate conversation where she starts talking about like her family life. She tells them that she can't go home for Thanksgiving and explains that like the situation with her parents. Basically that like everything that happened in the aftermath of the rape that happened, having to go to court, and her parents having to take out a ton of loans and a mortgage on the house, and her mom losing her job, and just like the kid who had assaulted her was like the mayor's son, so like everyone basically like shunned her and her family, and all of these of his friends like testified against her and said she was lying. And so like that's kind of, we get that backstory about what happened. And he's so struck by this because he's like, I want her to know that like I've also had experiences like, you know, similar experiences in the past. And so he tells her that Halloween is actually the first time that his father ever hit him, which is why he hates Halloween and he doesn't celebrate. And so then she learns a lot more about his backstory, about him and his mom and everything they went through at the hands of his father. But then they have this really intense, like, you know, intimate, vulnerable conversation, and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna suck you off now.
I thought the same thing. I was like, she's like, well, you know what they say, when you have a bad memory associated with a certain thing, you have to make a good memory, and then sucks him off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, is like all of their sex scenes, like just like, it's such an unhealthy like example of sex. Like, you guys just had a very heavy conversation and trying to be open with one another, and you're immediately jumping to let me just suck you off.
And that's the thing, it's like, we're not saying like it's out of the realm of possibility that they could have this conversation and also have sex in the same night. Mm-hmm. It's more so that it went from one to the other within like 2 seconds.
And
like,
it's also just kind of again, it's a bad example. Like, you can write anything in your book, and you should be going out of your way to be portraying, especially if you're going to write about college kids, you should be going out of your way to make sure you're portraying sex better than this.
Yeah. And they end up going up to his room, and this is the first time they like actually have sex. Or he invites her to go to a game with him, or go to one of his games the next day, like an away game, and he's like, you can take my Jeep, like you can take my keys and take my Jeep and drive there. That's a lot of trust. And she's like,
if somebody said you can take my Jeep, I say, okay.
Okay. And she does, and she brings her friends, and they eat corn chip in his car.
I mentioned we didn't bother to hit up concessions because we ate a shit ton of corn chips in the car. Every time we read a sports romance novel, I'm going to ask you, do you think they hit up concessions, or do you think they ate a shit ton of corn chips in the car? Who cares if they hit? Also, I'm not saying hit up. She said hit up.
Hit up.
Why do I need to know that they ate a shit ton of corn chips in the car? What does that add to the story?
Honestly, the only thing it made me think was like, damn, they got crumbs in his car.
No, it made me think she's wondering if her readers are curious as to whether they hit up the concession.
Well, I was wondering, so I'm really happy that she said that.
You can't forget details like that.
No, you can't. And so they wait for him outside the arena after the game, and she goes up to him, and they like kiss and hug, and her friends are like, bitch, we knew you guys weren't just fucking, what the hell. There's a weird little moment where his dad shows up as per usual because they lost the game, and he does not give him his usual head nod. But then he's like, bring that ass, we gotta talk. And so they go to his car.
And his teammates are like, wait, I have my jersey in my backpack.
Wait, I have my jersey.
Can you have him sign this headshot?
Like, and so he goes over to the car, and the dad's like, your presence is requested at Thanksgiving dinner. My new girlfriend wants you to be there. And he's like, I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. What the hell? And the dad's like, no, you have to. Like, I don't give a fuck.
The dad's kind of financially abusive.
Yeah, so at this point, we kind of learned that, like, the dad pays for everything. Tuition, car payments, rent, all that stuff.
Garrett's a busy guy. I mean, it sounds like
they
abuse those children that play sports on these sports teams.
Yeah, and basically we also hear Garrett say during this part, like, I have a trust fund that my grandparents left for me, and I will get access to it pretty soon on my 21st birthday. But until then, I'm kind of like at his mercy. On the drive home, Logan tells him that he found out that Justin and Hannah are going on a date this weekend.
Logan's like, stirring the pot.
No, he is.
He's like, she's going on a date.
What if the date was with me? And so he shows up at her dorm and he's like, the fuck? Are you going on this date? And she's like, yeah. Or no, she doesn't say that, but she's like, yeah, the date is real. But I probably wasn't gonna go. He's like, probably?
Because remember, she accepted the date before they started having sex.
Which she says, he asked her when she got asked on the date, she says before Sunday, and he's like, okay, that was before. But
do
like,
you realize
what do you mean by
also how
probably?
fast this is going?
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that. This has all happened within like 4 days.
Before Thanksgiving, too.
Yeah.
Their entire... They didn't know each other 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. Everything that I said between like her going to the coffee shop and being asked on the date and this is literally like 4 days time. Anyways, he's like, okay, well, I don't know why you're confused. I know what this is, but like, if you don't know, then we don't need to worry about this anymore. And he leaves the apartment or the dorm. And then she immediately chases him out and she's like, okay, I texted him and called off the date.
I was like, what was the point of this?
You know? She's like, okay, God. And then they make things official. Hey. So then, moving forward, they're boyfriend and girlfriend, and we get some scenes of them, like, hanging out with their friend groups together. And she says the most, in the weirdest way, she says, we've had 2 weeks of dating Garrett, and it's been a blur of laughter, cuddling, and hot sex, intermingled with real-life events, like classes and studying.
That sounds like something she wrote in like maybe a draft or like a like an outline.
Yeah.
And was like, okay, so but don't forget to like they're laughing, giggling, having sex, but school's still going on.
Intermingled with,
sure.
Yeah. But then she just left it that way.
She's like, well, hey, I don't need to explain it if I don't need to show you if I just say it.
Yeah, right? It's intermingled. Well, it's intermingled.
Are you there?
Are you getting it? Yeah.
There was one scene where his friends come to visit her at the diner that she works at, and he one of their friends orders like a full soda,
it's here.
full sugar soda, and she's like, "You can't have that. You're gonna get hopped up on sugar before the game." These are like almost professional athletes.
Who
like
made you my nutritionist?
No, like and Garrett's like, "Do you want to tell her no?" And then it cuts to her like, and then he's like, "No." What is it with books from the 2010s about like girls being like having mommy powers?
Yeah, I don't know what
like it gives Noah look at me.
It really is giving Noah look at me. This is also the chapter when she calls MJ a stupid brainwashed bitch because MJ and Cass kick her out of the performance, which is like obviously that's frustrating when the performance is in like 2 or 3 weeks, but to call her a stupid brainwashed bitch is
you could just say I don't like her. You could just say, I don't like her, I don't respect her. She stands for nothing.
She stands for nothing. What a great way to say that. Boom.
Yeah. She's not a good friend to me.
Stupid brainwashed bitch. Whoa.
Wow.
He also ends up asking Hannah to go home with him for Thanksgiving, like I obviously predicted at the beginning, because duh. And it is the most uncomfortable fucking meal you could possibly imagine. The dad,
I also imagine her wearing like a prom dress.
I did too, actually. She's a mermaid tail. But yeah, they're at this meal and the dad is just so rude to everyone. And Cindy, his girlfriend...
Girl, why can't you just sit there and be quiet?
Right, just be quiet.
Is that hard?
Cindy, his girlfriend, is like super sweet and trying to be nice, and both Hannah and Garrett like immediately pick up on the fact that she's also getting abused just based on her behavior. And at one point, Garrett like sidebars with the dad, and the dad is like, you need to break up with that girl. Like, she's a distraction, she's a liability. And Garrett's like, fuck no. What the
Why
hell?
would I care? What do you have to say?
Yeah. And he's like, Hannah, we're leaving. But on the way out, he basically like has a conversation. Not really a conversation. He kind of like talks to Cindy, and basically tells her like, I'm here for you if you need anything. Like, you know, you can leave this, and if you need anything, please call me, which I thought was nice. Mm-hmm. But then he gets in the car to drive home with Hannah, and he's just like really like going through it because he's like, I just hate that man so much, and I don't want to be anything like him, but I'm afraid that I am like him. Like sometimes I do have a temper, and she's just kind of like talking to him about it and being like, that's not your character. Like you're not anything like him. And then they pull over and have sex.
Yeah, and she also is like pushy about it. Like he's like, girl, no, anybody can see us.
Yeah.
And she's like, well then I guess we better be quick. And he's like, yeah, but no, like literally a cop could come at any time.
He mentions it so many times, like a cop could pull up on us at any moment.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying about all of their sex scenes. Just
yeah.
like they start in a like such a bad way that it's like I can't even enjoy. Also, there's at one point she says that I'm gonna have to cut that out because it's so vulgar.
What? Oh, what? How?
What a sentence!
That paints such a picture.
That's a new sentence.
New original sentence unlocked. I've never heard that before. Oh my god! And you know what I was thinking about? I was really thinking about that one scene from Holiday Ever After, the last Hannah Grace book we read. Go watch that video. And there was one scene where they have sex in a car, and that scene was great.
Yeah, because it was consensual.
Right, they both wanted to.
Yeah.
Also, after they have sex, The Story of My Life by One Direction starts playing, and he's like, what the fuck? And she's like, re-downloaded it, okay? I really like them.
She really needs to stand her ground here. She needs to not joke around. She needs to be like, I need you to be serious for a second. One Direction is important to me.
If you love me, you love this too.
You need to figure this out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just like, it really takes me back to that time where it was like,
really uncool to like
really uncool, and you had to like keep it a secret, and it was like anything that girls like really love, teen girls
Justin
really
Bieber,
enjoy,
Taylor Swift
got so like put down, and it's like, for what?
Yeah, they're men.
Who cares?
Misogyny.
Literally.
You know what's crazy? Misogyny affects men too.
Like, who gives a fuck if she enjoys a boy band? Who cares?
Have you not seen Harry's skinny jeans?
Moving on.
He looked really hot, and oh my god. You know when the hottest Harry Styles has ever looked is? When they were playing Tattoo Roulette, I think on James Corden, and he slaps the back of the box.
I made my mom watch that video. I sat her down and I was like, look at this. Have you ever seen someone look so attractive? And she was like, what?
And then Heated Rivalry came out in 2026. It's just crazy how life evolves and changes.
Where's the connection?
They're both hot.
Okay. We then get another scene of them at a game, and at this game, they win or something. I don't really remember. It's not important. While she's like,
they hit up the snack bar,
right? And while she's walking around, she bumps into somebody, and when she turns around to see who it is, it ends up being one of the students who testified against her during her like rape case back when she was 15. And she's just like too stunned to speak. She like can barely move. Makes sense. And Garrett comes up to her and he's like, hey, what's going on? And she's just like, can't really speak, whatever. She finally is able to tell him like who that is. And Garrett just wails on that hoe. Deserved.
Yeah.
And he only gets suspended for one game because Hannah's like, you can tell them why. You know, you can tell them the reason why.
I don't think the reason why matters.
I don't think the reason why matters either, but they mention it as like he got a lighter sentence.
I'm just telling you what was in the book.
Yeah, that's what was said. He gets a lighter sentence because he gave context to why he was fighting this guy. And he comes back to Hannah's apartment, and she's like, he's really worried that she's gonna be mad, but she's like, I'm not mad at you. Like,
he deserved it. You should have killed him.
The surgeon's a Bonnie and Clyde.
Into a thriller novel all of a sudden.
Yeah, but she's like, I'm not upset. It's fine. He spends the night there, and she's like, I'm gonna go to work. See you later. She goes to work, and lo and behold, the evil dad is there. I don't know how he found out where she works.
He's leering in the shadows again.
Stop
leering in the shadows.
He's giving Joe Goldberg. Like, it's scary.
Stop leering.
Stop. And she literally describes it as she bends down to like organize something under the counter, and then she stands up and he's standing right in front of her, and she's like, what the fuck.
Cartoonishly evil.
But yeah, he starts being cartoonishly evil because he's like, listen, you need to break up with my son. And you have no option, because if you don't, then I will cut him off, and he won't be able to pay his tuition, and he won't be able to pay for his books or his car or anything. He won't be able to play hockey anymore. Like, do you want to ruin his life? Is that what you want? And she's like,
I guess not.
I guess not.
Yeah.
And so she starts avoiding him for days, and finally he's like, hey girl, like, why are you avoiding me?
Yeah.
And the way that she decides to, shocker, guess what's gonna happen? Third act breakup. We also only have like four or five chapters left. What can we possibly, there's so, anyways.
What is there left to say?
Right. We could have just ended the book. But instead, she decides to break up with him in the meanest way possible. Sorry, I'm not laughing because it's funny. I more so just was like shocked.
Yeah.
Because she basically is like, yeah, like, I just feel like we're going too fast, and like, I want to see other people, because college is a time for exploring. Because, like, what if I meet someone better than you? What if I meet someone better than you? Now that's cartoonishly evil.
Well, to be fair, she was trying to be cartoonishly evil, because she was like, I need to be cartoonishly evil, so he just fucks off.
So he believes me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just was like, I was doing my dishes, and I was like, stop, girl, stop. Like, enough. And he is obviously very upset. He's like, I don't know. He calls her a coward and leaves. Weeks go by, she's obviously very miserable, and it's time for her showcase, and her friend Allie is trying to help her get ready. And in her mind, she's like, I don't know why Allie's getting dressed up for the showcase so she's performing.
Can you chill on your friends?
I'm going outside, right? I want to put on a cute outfit to go to your showcase. How dare I?
I'm trying to support you.
Right. She literally, you chill on your friends?
Do you want me to look up, I'm not showing up fat and wearing jeans to your showcase.
Not on your watch, anyway, I guess.
Fine, I guess you want me to show up ugly, I'll do that. Is that gonna make you feel better?
That's what she wants. That is what she wants. And so she goes to the showcase, and she's basically like, I could give a fuck about this anymore. Like, I don't care, I'm so miserable, I don't want to be here.
But I'm gonna chew anyway.
Yeah, her and Jay
chew
boots, and she ends up winning the scholarship. But as she's leaving, or like trying to flee the scene, she runs into Garrett, and this is like a week or 2 weeks later, and he ends up coming, and he's basically like, I've been thinking about our breakup, and things are not adding up. I know you're full of shit, and I'm gonna figure out what it is. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
This can't be.
He's like, how's dating all those guys, by the way? And she's like, literally, she's and so she goes home to see her family for Christmas. She goes to her aunt's, and her family meets her there, and they spend Christmas together. And then on New Year's, her parents are like, you're so fucking boots miserable. Can you just call that man?
No, my dad has never ever told me to get over a breakup by trying to get back together with my boyfriend. Whenever I break up with a man, my dad's like, oh, thank God. I never liked him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so helpful.
Thanks for that. That's really helpful. Yeah, but her dad's like, can you just call him because you're pissing me off? You're so miserable.
You're ruining Christmas.
Hey, this sucks. You're ruining New Year's. So can you just call him, please? And so she calls him because evidently also January 1st is his birthday. And she calls him and he's like, hey, how's dating all those guys? He tells her, like, can't wait to meet all these guys when we get back to campus. Can't wait to hear all about all your dating stories. She's like, okay. So she gets back to school. She's like, I gotta start dating some guys. So she calls her friend Allie's boyfriend.
I was so confused
which was
by this.
so weird,
Yeah.
I found. And she's like, hey, do you want to hang out? What a weird thing to say out the gate. That sounds really...
I was also confused because, like, didn't him and Garrett hang out at the diner?
Yeah, they did.
So, like, wouldn't he know that...
Well, he does.
Allie's boyfriend?
Well, she says that, and at first it seems like she's trying to call him to hang out. But then she's like, I'm calling him because he's in a frat, and I want
He can give me some bitches.
Yeah, she's like, can you hook me up with some bitches? But at first, he's like, why are you calling me? Like, is this some kind of prank? Is Allie there? I would never cheat on you. She was like, okay, so the only, like, redeemable character in this is the random boyfriend who's, like...
Who I know Allie isn't gonna end up with him because she ends up, I'm pretty sure, with Dean. Or Logan, or one of them. I don't know.
Don't piss me off. And...
Could be literally any of them, I don't know.
They're all the same. And basically, she's like, wait, do you know why everyone's running away from me? Like I have like a fucking like disease? Like what's happening? Like everyone's running from me like I have COVID-19. And he's like,
just 2015, so she's a time traveler.
Right. And he's like, yeah. Basically, he tells her that Garrett has put a campus-wide
like ban on her.
Ban on anyone dating her. You're like, oh, that's terrible.
It was so ridiculous because like this would never work in practice. So I'm okay with being like about it in a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So she goes to the their locker room, the hockey locker room, and she walks in there and
she
like,
sexually harasses these boys because they're in there in a space where they think they're safe to be nude.
Right.
And she just walks in.
And she walks in there and she's like, oh my god, there's so many penises. Oh my god, a penis there and a penis there.
I got it.
And someone's talking to her and she's like, how's your penis? I mean, how are you?
You could just leave.
Is this supposed to be funny?
I literally wrote the same thing. I was like, it's not funny. She also goes into the showers to find Garrett, and she gets like pissed off at the other hockey players that are in there trying to shower. She's like, can you guys skedaddle? I'm trying to yell at your captain. Okay, and I'm trying to shower. I stink. Like, my deodorant is working.
Can you skedaddle?
Yeah, my deodorant is working overtime.
So, even the coach walks by and is like, what the hell's going on here? And he's like, sorry, like,
bitches, man.
Yeah, and coach is like, alright.
What? Kick her out. You're a trusted adult.
You're a trusted adult.
One of the guys in the shower was like, coach is here. He's gonna kick her out.
Literally.
And then he's just like, bitches.
What? Coach! No, literally though. We laugh, but literally though, you're supposed to be the person to be like, get the hell out of here.
You're the trusted adult.
Yeah. So they start having a conversation, and he's like, so what gives? Why are you here? And
he's like,
and she's like, you put a ban on me? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, yeah. And she's basically like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do that? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I know that you want to be with me, and I want to be with you, so we just got to figure this out. Like, what's going on? And she's like, okay.
They relocate to the Jeep to have the rest of this conversation.
Yeah, and she's like, your dad told me that I had to break up with you. And he's like...
He laughs. He literally laughs.
He literally laughs. And he's like, really wish you would have just fucking communicated that to me, because I am now 21 and I have a trust, so...
Remember when I turned 21 on January 1st?
Yeah. I have a trust, and I paid that man back every penny of what I owe him, and that's done for me and him.
It's donezo.
So you could have just told me. But, like, let's just move on. We don't have to talk about it too much. Let's just move on. Which I was like, that's so annoying, because it really is, like, again, you're forcing, as with, like, most books we read, you're forcing a third act breakup, but it's like, if she really would have just told him that immediately, he could have been like, it's okay, we can just date in secret. We can just think that we broke up. And then in 3 weeks, in 3 weeks, I'll be 21, and then we won't have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point? And so then we get, like, a time jump to March. And it's just like showing that their friend groups are blended and they're all hanging out together.
To set up the rest of the series as well.
Yeah. And the hockey team is like made it to like the championship game.
The Frozen Four.
I was like, girl,
did we have to give it a name?
The Frozen Four, is that real? In the comments, let us know.
As if I fucking know.
Yeah. And then there's an epilogue. Did you read the epilogue?
No.
Did you stop here? Okay, so there's an epilogue, and in the epilogue, it is literally like 2 days later or something, and they have now won the game. Like, I literally wrote, like, can it even be an epilogue if it's the next day?
No!
It's not an epilogue. It's like 2 days later.
Just make it the next chapter.
Just make it all
one
chapter.
What are you opposed to it being the last chapter?
Just make it all one chapter. And it's just them winning the game. Who gives a fuck? But then... there's an extra chapter.
So, wait, I have a question. If it's the extra chapter, does that mean it wasn't originally written into the story? Because I assume this is going to be about Logan. So,
yes.
Do you think she forgot about it and then was like, oh, fuck, shit.
Typing. No, it was like, I scrolled too far by accident when I was making this outline, and I was like,
what is this?
What is this? There's a whole extra chapter, and it basically is, she puts it like in
I'm already laughing.
She writes in there like, timeline-wise, this is after the events of the deal and before the events of The Mistake, which is Logan's book.
Okay.
And it's basically her and him, and they're in her dorm room, and he's...
Just Logan? Her and Logan?
No. Her and Hannah and Garrett are in her dorm room. And they're talking about how Logan has a crush on her. And Garrett's like, he needs to chill because this is my woman.
Okay.
And she's like she's like taking off her outfit from work, and he's like, you got a fat ass. And he has to mention it. He can't not mention it. And then she gets on top of him. She's like, you know, wearing her underwear, and he's in her boxers. And then her roommate barges into the room without knocking and is like, hey, I'm gonna borrow a sweater. And Garrett's like, okay, so fuck, marry, kill. Dean
Asks Allie that?
No, asks Hannah that.
So why does Allie need to barge in?
Allie barges in, and she's like, I'm not answering that question, you're looking for a fight. And Allie's like, what question? And he's like, fuck, marry, kill. Dean, Logan, or Tucker. And she answers. I can't even remember what she said. And then...
Where could this possibly be going?
I literally almost threw up in my mouth. And then, after she leaves, Hannah's like, okay, fuck Garrett Graham, marry Garrett Graham, and kill anyone who isn't Garrett Graham. That's the extra chapter? I'm so dead ass.
That's it?
I'm being so dead ass.
Wait, you said the Logan thing was going somewhere. That's where it went.
Imagine my surprise, because I also was like, oh, we're gonna get it to me. But she lied to me too, because she writes, here's an exclusive bonus scene from your favorite couple, and basically sets it up to be like, oh, this is gonna be about Logan, and then it just ends right here.
Heart emoji.
What was your rating?
I don't even have one. It's like a 1 or a 2.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's
a 2. It's a 1.5 actually.
There's a lot of misogyny in here,
Yeah.
but like given that it was written in 2015,
You'd take that in context.
The thing is, I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it, but I was entertained.
I was entertained. And you know what? It's also like you have to remember that there were things that you read in 2015 that weren't like this.
It's important to remember you've read things that aren't this.
Yeah, it's
that are
important
better
to remember
than this.
that. I read a lot of books in 2015 that were great and weren't this.
Like After?
They didn't have stuff like this in it. No, not like After. After has a lot of things wrong with it. So, yeah. It's like, the context is important, but I think it's still worth the criticism.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of things in here that clearly really upset me. Yeah, I'm really excited to watch the
I'm so
show
excited to watch
tomorrow,
the show,
though.
yeah.
I think we read this at the perfect time. I literally finished it this morning, so I'm primed and ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. So, ready. Bye.